to acquire some additional land from Mr. Knega, remove this tower, the cabinets, and to build a structure that can hold the equipment as well as a larger cell tower. This slide identifies the site survey. And the new tower would be 85 feet, the old tower 65 feet. There's an existing gravel area that accesses the site. This area will need to be more clearly defined and paved, and there'll be grass that will be brought in or planted in that surrounding area, along with some new landscaping and such. So we're trying to blend it in with the existing wooded area that is there and actually relocate or plant some additional trees surrounding this particular site. Again, there'll be a much larger building for an equipment shelter as opposed to just the cabinetry that exists there today. This U.S. Cellular equipment shelter is similar to other shelters that you have seen around the village, other than it's going to be all brick material all the way up, and it will have a shingled roof. This project did receive a conditional use permit and site and operational plan approval before the Plan Commission, subject to the modification of and acceptance by the village board of the comprehensive plan and the zoning map amendment you have before you this evening. There was also some discussion, and I believe the petitioner agreed to at the Plan Commission meeting, and that was to, if space did allow and it met setbacks, to increase the size of this tower in order to accommodate an additional carrier. I'm not sure if Mr. Zepple had an opportunity to take a look at that since our last meeting, but that's something certainly we'll work out with him prior to any issuance of any permits for this particular property. The staff recommended approval as the Plan Commission of the site and operational plan and the modification to the comprehensive plan, and we recommend the village board support the amendment to the comprehensive plan, which is resolution 07-78, as well as consider the zoning map amendment, which is ordinance 07-49 you have before you.
Mike?
Ron, when Gene was mentioning about the additional size and space possible to co-locate extra heads.
Give us your name and address.
Sure. Ron Zepple, Sawyer, 45 North 124th Street, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Yeah, we did take a look at it, Gene, and right now the way it's on the plan is about 92 feet to the structure. According, I think, to your codes, you have to be 1-to-1 to the structure. We're planning on setback to the adjacent building that's there right now. I think it's a 1-to-1. Now, one thing I was unclear, Gene, and I'll talk to Kevin about, we could possibly slide that another 8 feet to the west. And what we're talking about is possibly, as long as we're redesigning this tower, build it capable. It currently would be designed to only take our antennas, new antennas at 85 feet, but also be able to sneak another carrier in there at 75 feet underneath there, along with relocating the civil defense iron and those other antennas. And the question that come up with the Plan Commission is whether or not can we make it available for a third carrier, which would be, they would take all this possibility, and I propose, well, we could make the tower expandable. So if you ever you've got a tower a little bit further to the west on village property. So assume you take 3 or 4 carriers on that, and take 2 carriers here or 3, you pretty much have yourself covered on it. And so the question came up: can we make it expandable to that third carrier? Of course we can. We can build a tower that's 85 feet expandable to say 95 or 100 feet, cover that. The next question I would ask Gene is that 1-to-1, if we design the pole for rather than moving over an additional 80, 90 feet to the west, we design the pole to fall down, maybe 70%, 80%, or is it has to be a 1-to-1. So we're talking about just sliding over additional 90 feet. And I think that could be all if you want. So I mean, I guess right now we would propose that we could do that and just say we're going to go an additional 8 or 9 feet over to the west.
So as I understand this, and the land will allow you to put 3.
We're just slide a little bit over, move the pole another 9 feet, so we got a 1-to-1 to that.
Right. So you'll be able to put 3 houses or 3 houses.
We're gonna build a pole 85 feet, expandable to 100.
It's great.
And you can.
So the the housing unit would be able to accommodate any additional cabinetry as well?
Well, housing, the way the fence designed right now is it's covering the US cellular application. It's covering the monopole. So if we added another second carrier, that carrier would have to be, whatever they come in with cabinets or whatever, they'd have to expand in. It's brush around it anyway, there's no trees, it's just all scrub brush. So they would have to add in, they'd have to come in for site plan review, and they'd have to add in a carrier, or they'd have to add in, similar to what the villages had. They have to come back to you and have to add a hut next to it. Okay? Third carrier would have to do the same thing. The pole will be designed and covered.
And there's room in the easement area to do that?
There's room in the site to do that, yeah, they have to work on it, we know the cabinet, there's room.
Other comments?
Yeah, I got a question for Ginny. Ginny, if the tower goes from 95 to 100 feet, is supposed to have a large setback from the road or not?
We're covering that right now.
You're going to cover that?
We're covering that, so,
Okay.
when we proposed 85 feet,
Mhm.
you know, so we're making the adjustment now to cover that.
You understand? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other comments, questions? Thank you.
Move for approval of resolution 07-78.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any comments, questions on the motion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Move approval of zoning map amendment.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Steve, on zoning map amendment, the ordinance number 07-49, for the discussion on this item. Hearing none?
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. Item D is to receive the planning commission recommendation, consider zoning text amendment to be ordinance number 07-50, to consider amendments sections 420-15F, 7, 420-106F, 7, 420-107F, 7, 420-108F, 7, 420-109F, 7, 420-110F, 7, 420-111F, 7, 420-112E, 4, 420-113F5, 420-114F4, 420-115F4, 420-116F4, related to the minimum roof pitch of 412 on dwellings and zoning administrator's approval authority related to the reduction of the minimum roof pitch to 412 in the R1, R2, R3, R4, R4.5, R5, R6, R7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, single-family and multiple family residential zoning districts. You can repeat all that if you want to.
Mr. President, ordinance number 07-50 is to consider amendments to several sections of the village zoning ordinance as it relates to the pitch of a new structure, a new home, and this has to do with the residential district design standards in the village zoning ordinance. Specifically, the way the ordinance reads today is that the main roof of the dwelling shall have a minimum roof pitch of 412, and the eaves on the main roof shall extend beyond the nearest vertical wall a minimum of 1 foot, where the eave length may be reduced, as approved by the village zoning administrator. What the Plan Commission had requested and initiated was for the village staff to evaluate a number of the properties in the village and elsewhere in the area as it relates to pitch on a roof of a new home. And they wanted to know whether or not we could incorporate some flexibility into the zoning ordinance with respect to discretion by the village zoning administrator in order to see if we could look at some home styles that have roof pitches that are less than 412. And so the staff gathered a number